Yo, you gotta check out this archetype. It's the next Zoodiac.
YugiTube, it's 2 in the morning.
You're not excited about the next Zoodiac?
It's not that I'm not excited. It's that you have been saying this new archetype is the next Zoodiac for the past 5 years. You have been wrong 100% of the time. So if you'll excuse me, I am going back to bed.
No. You don't understand. This one is completely different.
Alright, what is different about this archetype?
This time, the win condition is mill.
Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow then.
Good afternoon, Jank enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-Minute Testing. Sometimes Konami will release an archetype that appears to be busted on face. You spend a couple of minutes reading the cards and run directly to YouTube, and lo and behold, the YugiTubers are chomping at the bit. It's the next Striker, it's the next Zoodiac, it's tier 0, it's tier -1! Well, I'm here to temper your expectations. Mysterune is only okay. So here's the list, and yes, I am playing Ghost Trick. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is the pack opening website that everyone's using for their progression series, but you might have also missed it's got a deck builder, a card database, and a wealth of strategy articles. I personally use it to post the Chalice Line monthly deck breakdowns, and you can give it a look at www.ygoprodeck.com. With that, let's mangle Mysterune. Mysterune is a series of quick play spell cards mostly. They're all modal. They can either be interaction with your opponent or summon a Mysterune fusion from your extra deck to the extra monster zone specifically. They each also banish some number of cards off the top of your opponent's deck and skip your next battle phase. That's right, you are meant to mill your opponent out. Don't worry though, their field spell does a great job at recycling these quick plays, ensuring you always have a steady stream of mill enablers at your disposal. That's how it works in theory, and in YouTube combos at least, but in practice it hardly ever goes off. You're either playing only Mysterune cards and losing to everything that puts up negates or splashing hand traps and often whiffing field spells, you're weak to Ogre on the field, Imperman Veiler on your fusions, and Ash pretty much always. And since you have to keep the EMZ open and can't wield the battle phase to clean up gummy board states, you can't use the unbelievable tools gifted to monster decks over the last few years. Finally, I feel like I shouldn't have to tell you this, but mill being your A-strat isn't particularly good when there are 60-card decks lurking in the format. People have been trying for about a week now to fill in the gaps in this archetype with all manner of unplayable garbage. Lithium is playing Magical Musketeer, which appears to be the most promising. It can easily amass more resources than an opponent facing down control tools, but its strength lies in getting in big max pushes that don't amount to a lot without a battle phase. Lithium's also tried Sky Striker. It is comically easy to set up a big engage, but finding it without Hayate is kind of difficult, and the strikers tend to eat up the EMZ. Yassine's convinced it's Sidra. Shocker. Because Mega Fleet can clear the EMZ, Dual Evolutions had some success with a small Fabled engine, and many tubers are just jamming Halcdon and calling it a day. If you're dire, you can cope alongside Generator. Dragoon and DPE are also a consideration, but each has their own quirks. Dragoon's strong, but can't clear the Verte without a discard, so it's easy to lock yourself out of the Mysterune fusions. DPE doesn't have that problem, but because your hand is so full of conditional spells so often, you don't have frequent access to Celestial, making him effectively a pop-a-turn and nothing else. Because of this, we're playing, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Ghost Trickstar. The Trickstar engine is effectively a 2 or 3 star monster that replaces itself on subsequent turns. This means you can use it alongside Munin in order to go into Alucard into the Ghost Trick setup, or alongside Hugin in order to go into So Cute Boss to get there. From there you can set up UFD before making it to your must-negate spells and getting off to the races. So with that, let's get into the card by card. First up are our Trickstars. 3 copies of Trickstar Candina, 1 copy of Trickstar Licorice, 1 Lily Bell, 1 Light Stage, and 1 Reincarnation. The Reincarnation might feel like cope, but it's actually quite good. You discard a card over the course of your combos by using your Fusion Monsters effects. This one can get you over damage thresholds by using the effects in Graveyard in order to reborn something like a Candina, or start an entire chain with Lily Bell if you have a Licorice in hand already. Moreover, if you are actually committing to the mill strategy, this is 5 cards you don't have to worry about. 2 copies of Spring of the Mysterune, you used to play 3 of this card, but because it's so searchable now, any individual Mysterune quick play is this card by way of your fusion monsters. It's so accessible, but you don't want to draw more than 1 copy of it. For Mysterune spells, we've got triple Point of the Mysterune. This adds a Mysterune from your deck to your hand. Triple Mysterune of the Brilliant Flame. This destroys an opponent's special summoned monster. Mysterune of Dispel. If they add a card from the deck to the hand except during the draw phase, allows you to discard a random card out of their hand. Mysterune of the Freezing Curse we are also playing 3 of. It allows you to target an effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effects. We're playing 1 Deceit of the Mysterune, which is a double up if you ever banish cards off the top of your opponent's deck. Double Mysterune of Destruction. This card allows you to target a spell trap your opponent controls and destroy it, followed by 1 Mysterune of the Golden Droplets, which I will not make fun of. This allows you to make your opponent draw a card, then banish the top 4 cards of their deck. And finally, 1 Mysterune of Slumber, which can prevent a monster from being destroyed by battle or card effects. After that, we're playing Ghost Trick Shot. This is a really hard Garnet, not because it needs to be in deck, but because you need to be able to search something with the Angel of Mischief to get the Alucard or the So Cute boss into the graveyard. Theoretically, we could resolve this problem by playing any other Ghost Trick spell trap, but there is not a second playable Ghost Trick spell trap. The closest we've got is Ghost Trick or Treat, which is Dog Water. We've got 1 copy of Called by the Grave, 1 copy of Metaverse, 3 copies of Psyframe Gear Gamma, 1 Driver, triple Ghost Ogre, triple Ash Blossom, and 1 Effect Veiler. We're not playing Terraforming because I think that Terraforming is kind of superfluous in a deck where you can always search Spring. Metaverse is a little bit better because it allows you to, if your opponent destroys the Spring on their turn, still get another one into rotation so you can activate these Mysterune spells from your hand and potentially trigger it again. In the extra, we've got 1 copy of Gary, 2 copies of Moonin, 2 copies of Hugin, 1 Zeus, double Angel of Mischief, 1 Alucard, 1 So Cute Boss, both halves of UFD, an Access Code Talker, a Selene, and a Crystron Halka Fibrex. So with that, let's jump into the games. Our first match is up against Cyber Darkness, and God, I thought this deck was going to be so cool when it was first spoiled. Unfortunately, it's a GX archetype. They aren't allowed to be good. Our hand is okay. Oh, well, now our hand is very good. With this 2-star monster on our side of the field, we can get a lot done. We're going to activate any old Mysterune spell to get a copy of Hugin to our side of the field. From here, we can trigger the effect of the Hugin, and our opponent allows it to get us a copy of Spring. From here, we'll go So Cute Boss into Angel of Mischief. They will fire the Infip here, better late than never, I suppose, but shockingly, this isn't the end of our turn. We'll go Deceit and Spring, then fire off our last Mysterune quick play to make the 3-star fusion, at which point we will trigger Spring of the Mysterune to shuffle 3 cards back into our deck. We'll draw, and we find a Trickstar. We'll normal the Candina, use its effect to get a copy of Licorice, tag out the Candina for the Licorice, overlay for an Alucard, and we have still made it to Utopic Draco Future. Wow. We'll get the shot out of our deck so we don't draw it on a future turn, and then wish our opponent good luck. We've got some more we can do here. We can activate 1 more Mysterune to make the level 4 fusion, I guess as a comedy joke, and banish the top card of our opponent's deck. We'll pass back to them, and they're going to begin with a copy of Claw. We let this go because we can always, at Point of Resolution, activate Point and get ourselves the Spell Trap Destroyer. That Cyber Darkness world will not be resolving today. They're going to go for Horizon instead. They'll go ahead and activate the Graveyard effect of Hertz, and then afterwards they can special summon a Sidra, normal summon a core, and trigger the effect. That will take. We'll go ahead and add that core to our side of the field, at which point they will link it off for a Mega Fleet and a Zeger. This is fine for us, though, because this UDF cannot be destroyed by battle. Now, unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to clean up this card this turn because we don't have access to our battle phase. We're just doing Trickstar stuff from this point forward. We'll go for the Candina so we can get ourselves a copy of Reincarnation and pass back to our opponent, making sure to go through the battle phase so it actually triggers. Unfortunately, they do go for the world here, so we are going to have to activate the Mysterune of Destruction, which will skip our next battle phase. Maybe someday we will get to attack, but until that point, we're just triggering Spring and spinning our wheels. Those are some pretty good ones. They'll attack into our Candina, it goes to the graveyard, and they'll pass back to us. For turn, we draw another Mysterune quick play. Okay, we'll go for Candina, activate the effect again. We'll get another Candina, activate the Destroy a Special Summoned Monster Mysterune quick play because we are losing this battle phase no matter what. Drawing a couple of cards, and God, do we have enough hand traps yet? We'll pass back to our opponent who draws for turn, and this should not do it. They're going to activate the Graveyard effect of Core. We will Ash it. From here, they can, I guess, special summon a Cyber Dragon, but it doesn't accomplish much. They'll get over this Candina, set 1 card, and pass back to us, and now it's time to commit. We're going to activate Trickstar Light Stage here. Target our opponent's set back row. Did you forget that this card does this? And special summon this copy of Lilybell as well. From here, I think we have lethal. We'll go for Shot in order to reborn an Angel of Mischief. Normal summon this copy of Candina with 0 targets left in deck and go to the battle phase. We'll attack over for 9, attack direct for 2,000, attack direct for 8, use the effect of Lilybell in order to add from our graveyard to our hand a copy of Licorice, then get in for 18 plus 2 off the light stage. From here, we can use Licorice to return the Lilybell to hand, special it, get in for 16 plus 2, and then fire off lethal damage by way of Trickstar Reincarnation. So that's what happens when everything goes according to plan and your opponent mismanages their hand traps. But what happens if your opponent's a little more savvy? Our second match is up against Evil Twin, and we can open with Candina. This is a fine opener. It gets us everything we need. We'll go into Licorice and then fire off one of these Mysterune spells to go into the 3-star fusion. We'll go ahead and trigger the effect of the 3-star fusion, discarding this driver in order to get Deceit to our hand, and then we'll overlay for an Alucard. We'll then go into a copy of Ghost Trick Angel of Mischief. We'll add a shot from our deck to our hand. We're going to fire off the shot in order to bring back this copy of Alucard, and then we'll overlay for another Angel. After that, we're going to go into a copy of Utopic. We'll trigger the effect of the Alucard, and there is a well-timed Nibiru. Okay, we're not done yet. We can still activate Point in order to summon the 2. We can activate the 2 to get the field spell, and all right. Okay, we'll set a Metaverse and hope for the best. Our opponent's going to normal summon a copy of Leela, and that's the entire combo on its own. They're going to get a copy of Kiss-a-Kill Frost, and then make themselves a copy of Leela. They will then summon back this Kiss-a-Kill Frost to go into a Kiss-a-Kill, trigger the effect of the Kiss-a-Kill in order to bring back the Leela, pop our set card, we'll flip Metaverse, they'll activate Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Sheesh, enough hand traps. They'll go to the battle phase and clear our entire field. We get to shuffle back this copy of Hugin, but it's probably not enough. We'll take 3, and we got to draw something crazy off the top if we want to win this. This is not it. Maybe they think it is it, so we will play it out. We'll go for the Lilybell. We are going to go ahead and summon that. They get to draw off of the Kiss-a-Kill Frost, which is frustrating, to say the least. We're going to normal summon this copy of Candina. Oh my god, an Ash Blossom off the draw. We're going to get a copy of Reincarnation to hand and go to the battle phase before scooping it up. So it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's playing pile. They are playing a pile of cards just like everyone else's format. Theirs contains mostly a lot of worm stuff. They're going first, so let's see what we can accomplish with this hand. They're going to begin with an Adhara. They will then activate Emergency Teleport. Whose bright idea was it to bring this to 3? They'll go for Noah Punk. I'm not gonna say it. Halqa Fibrax comes out next and gets a copy of 001. From here, they can go into an Auroradon and do the line that we've all come to know and love. 3 copies of Mecha Phantom Beast token, bring back the 001, and from here, they can Synchro Summon into a Yazi. They'll activate the effect of the Auroradon to pop their own Yazi, then trigger the effect of the Yazi in the graveyard in order to go into Taya. They're going to trigger the effect of the Taya, banishing this copy of Adhara to get a token to their side of the field and make a copy of Chisao. They're going to trigger the effect of the Chisao and the Taya. The Taya is going to send a copy of Ashana to the graveyard, and they're going to get a Blackout. From here, they can Emergency Teleport again for a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit before going for Ashana and summoning a copy of Vishutta from their deck. From here, they can make, oh my god, Changing set to pass. All right, let's see what we can do. The field spell's a big pickup. We'll go for the field spell, then we'll activate one of our Mysterune cards in order to summon from our extra deck. They're going to negate the effect of our monster. We'll negate the effect of their monster. They will reveal that their unknown is an imperm. Okay, well, that's not fantastic. At Resolution, we're going to be able to trigger the effect of the Spring of the Mysterune, but our opponent is going to be able to trigger the effect of Changing, so we might as well scoop it up. So it's time for game 2, and god, 2 hand traps in full combo. How do they do it? Our hand is pretty good. We're going to begin with a copy of Candina. From here, we can get a copy of Licorice to hand. We're going to tag out that Candina for the Licorice, and then we'll activate one of these Mysterune cards in order to make the 3. We'll activate the effect of the 3, and our opponent will negate it after we pay cost. Okay, that's good. 1 hand trap gone on something we don't really care too much about. We'll go to Alucard and then into an Angel of Mischief. We'll trigger the Angel of Mischief to get a copy of Shot. We'll fire off the Shot to bring back the Alucard, and then we'll overlay the Alucard with a copy of Angel of Mischief, at which point our opponent will Nibiru. Now, this is a big token. We might actually get away with this. We'll add the Shot back to hand, which is great because it's discard fodder for when we go into our copy of Hugin. We'll do that right now and get a copy of the field spell. Then we'll fire off our last Mysterune quick play, negating our opponent's Nibiru's effects so that we can draw 3 cards. Got to be something crazy off the top here. And oh, those aren't bad. Called by the Grave plus another starter and a Gamma, but they're a little conditional. They're going to go for a copy of Moye. From here, they're going to activate Journey of Destiny, then activate the effect in order to grab a copy of Aquamancer. They discard a copy of Ashana. We can banish that with Called by the Grave, and now we are kind of a sitting duck. They're going to go through the entire adventure line, getting a Chisao as well. They'll draw a card, and I just love that they went from 2 cards in hand to 5. It's just really excellent. Don't worry. It's gonna get worse. They'll go for Magician Souls next, and then pitch 2 cards, including the Dracoback they added, to draw 2 more, 2 Ash Blossoms, by the way. Then pitch a copy of the Blackout in order to get a Long Wand to field. They're going to trigger Long Wand, putting us at 1200 lower, then activate the effect of Baron to destroy our rock. Thankfully, this Hugin will replace that, which forces them to pass, but we can't clean up anything because we don't have access to our battle phase. We're going to go for the Candina. They'll activate the effect of Barone. That's fantastic. That's a Barone we don't have to worry about. We'll pass back to our opponent, and they may not have an out to the big token. I'm certainly hoping not. They're going to go for an Emergency Teleport to get, I'm not going to say the name. I'm not going to make the joke. I simply will not. They're going to activate the effect of Foxy Tune in order to bring out Madame, and down comes Herald of the Arclight. They'll activate Xiamen, and then go for a copy of Aramasir, which makes Yazi, which pops our token. And now we are sitting duck. We can Gamma here, that forces out from them this copy of Herald of the Arclight, but unfortunately this deck not only can have access to Herald of the Arclight, they have a target and illusion to hand. They'll go for the blackout here, so they have an additional token after they make the Baxia. They'll activate the effect of the Baxia to tuck our copy of Spring, and then afterwards they can probably kill us. They're going to activate the effect of Adhara and proceed to combat. Now we're not necessarily dead here. We do have this copy of Reincarnation in the graveyard, which we can use to bring back the Licorice, but we are kind of a sitting duck. It's got to be something crazy off the top that beats Ash Blossom in order to win, and they'll even tag out for the Herald again. Things are not looking fantastic. We'll draw for turn, and it's... yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay, we're going to normal summon this copy of Candina, go to the battle phase to walk over the Herald of the Arclight. They'll use the effect to get the illusion back to hand. Then we'll fire off Point. Point is going to add from deck to hand a copy of the removal spell. We can fire that to get rid of the Chi-Xiao, but we still have to worry about the Baxia and the Nibiru, so we might as well concede here. So we're back with the deck, and barf. It's not good. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1. Often a long Mysterune chain will leave your opponent without the cards they'd be searching as part of their combo, especially if they're only playing 40. 2. The Mysterune fusions are really good, both at ensuring you always have access to your combo and at ensuring you always have material for the ghost tricks. And 3. It's very funny. Now, the cons. 1. You are never, ever achieving deck out. You have to be so absolutely ahead, and your opponent has to play so absolutely passive for you to accomplish anything. In a world where every deck is 40 to 60 one-card starters, 1.5 negates a turn is not going to prevent you from being run over. 2. You have to be winning for so long to even take a single game. You've got to be winning your first turn, you've got to be winning your second turn because you lose the battle phase, and you've got to be winning your third turn to actually attack. That's a lot of time for your opponent to catch up. And 3, it doesn't help that the deck loses to all the currently played hand traps. All in all, the deck is not fantastic. I know you've been hearing for the last week that it's the second coming of Christ and it's Zoodiac 3.0, but I promise you, it is not particularly good.